Ryan Rhodes, the Spice Boy. You remember the tag a couple of years back? The light middleweight, the fastest ever to a Lonsdale belt, British champion at 20, and for a while it seemed he could do no wrong. That was the early career. But up into world class, he soon came unstuck. A points defeat against Otis Grant for the WBO World Middleweight crown, and back in the big time in this very ring against Jason Matthews, the same thing.
Got caught here with some punches and he's a foot down. He's caught by another right hand. He's going to be counted on the towel, thrown in anyway. It is over. It has all gone horribly wrong for Ryan Rhodes.
An even more crushing defeat. But he has been back in the old routine, back to his favourite training haunts in Gran Canaria, and Rhodes vowing to put his mistakes behind him.
I'm not taking nothing away from him, but he won that night. I know what I did wrong. I fought the wrong fight. Definitely fought the wrong fight. I should have boxed him a few rounds, 3 or 4 rounds, and then took him out. But I didn't. I fought the wrong fight, and that was it. I couldn't let it bother me to get me down and make me think, is this the sport for me? Because I know this is the sport for me. I know I'm going to be world champion. I've just had a few setbacks.
So Rhodes questioning whether it is the sport for him. Well, it is to be the sport for him tonight, and he's got to focus on the job in hand. This 10-rounder scheduled at middleweight against Eddie Haley from South Shields. He is the Northern Area champion right now, and Rhodes about to prove that he can make his way back to the top, or at least attempt that. Ringside for commentary, we have Ian Darke and Glenn McCrory. Welcome back. Adam Smith's alongside them too. Happy New Year to all. Our Master of Ceremonies, Mike Goodall, with Rhodes on his way out now.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big new millennium welcome to viewers live and exclusive on Sky Sports to the Dome Leisure Park here in Doncaster, where Frank Warren, in association with John Rushton, proudly presents World Championship Boxing. Our officials this evening all appointed by the WBO and the British Boxing Board of Control. Would you please now welcome to the ring one of Sheffield's stars. Please welcome Ryan Rhodes.
So what psychological scars have been left after Ryan Rhodes' shock defeat by Jason Matthews? 6 months on, he starts the rebuilding process here. I'm interested in his weight for this, Glenn. 11 stone, 13 and a half, which is his heaviest ever, up near super middleweight now.
Well, you could just tell when he stood there that he did look pretty thick around the middle, you know, a lot bigger than he's been. I mean, you know, he's obviously, you know, he's still young and he's still growing, but he's starting to get pretty heavy now.
Well, the explanation from the camp is they were expecting Eddie Haley, who's fought at light heavyweight before, to come in pretty heavy here, but Haley, in fact, is weighing 11 stone 7. This ought to be, on paper, a routine rehabilitation job for Ryan Rhodes, but you just never know, do you, in this kind of situation?
You don't know how much, you know, his last defeat took out of him. You don't know, what mental scars are there. It should really be, you know, a good fight to get himself back in, but as you're right, Ian, you never know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is a middleweight contest of 10 3-minute rounds. And introducing firstly in the red corner, wearing the navy blue trunks trimmed with white, coming from South Shields in the north of England. He weighed in at 11 stone 7 pounds, holds a 12-fight professional record, 6 wins, 4 wins by way of knockout with 6 losses. Please welcome to Doncaster, Eddie Haley. And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, wearing the all-white trunks, fighting out of Sheffield and weighing 11 stone 13 1/4 pounds. He holds a 21-fight professional record, 19 wins, 16 wins by way of knockout with 2 losses. He's a former Intercontinental Champion and World Title Challenger. Please welcome Ryan Rhodes. Your officials for this contest, appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control, the timekeeper, Mr. Barry Pinder, the referee, Mr. Tony Green of Sheffield.
Final instructions coming up. Ryan Rhodes remains very, very confident that he's still going to make it to the top in the business. But the path that seemed to be paved with gold looked as if suddenly it was paved with sawdust 6 months ago. Can he come back from all of that? It was a horrible night for him. Eddie Haley, chosen, you would think, to be the ideal rehabilitation opponent. He's a willing trier from the northeast, 34 years of age. But there's every expectation here that Rhodes might take him out quite early. Let's see what happens. So Rhodes in the white trunks, the one-time Spice Boy, as he was called, from Sheffield. Still only 23.
Well, Hale comes game and persistent, and he's very strong type, but I don't know if he has the technical ability to really trouble Rhodes. Not much of a puncher either, which makes his chances even slimmer.
Haley was in 2 terrific fights with Ian Toby, his local rival up in the northeast, but this is another challenge again, to be honest with you. And he's giving away the best part of half a stone here to Ryan Rhodes, to add to his other woes. Getting the gloves up, but a right hand from Rhodes gets through. Rhodes needing the confidence boost. Beaten in a world title fight against Otis Grant. That wasn't a bad performance at all against a high-class opponent, but the 2-round defeat against Jason Matthews, that was a real horrible shocker for Rhodes. You'll know Haley quite well from the northeast. Can he offer anything by way of a threat to Rhodes, do you think?
Well, if Rhodes has retained anything, you would have to say no. But coming off that defeat like he did, Rhodes, he's still got the habit of leaving his chin high in the air, and as long as he'll do that, there'll be somebody looking to try and hit it.
13 of Ryan Rhodes' 19 victories have come inside 3 rounds. He's a good puncher, and that right hand just seemed to shake Haley. Oh, and his clubbing punch, and he touched down there. Mandatory 8 count here for Haley. It was only a flash knockdown, but down he was. 8 rounds, 8 count, and he signals that he's okay, but is he? Switch hitting as ever, Rhodes, who is in fact a right-handed southpaw. But unusual. Just driving through the punches almost at will here, Rhodes. Haley looking out of his depth, which is what we thought, to be honest with you, beforehand.
Yes, he just can't get close enough to Rhodes, and when he does, he's getting caught with heavy punches.
But he does get through the first round, Eddie Haley. Well, coming off a defeat, Ryan Rhodes producing a knockdown in his favour in his very first round back.
Yeah, he's just got he's just settling down on his knees, big right hand over the top, just caught him on the side of the head, and a good punch from Rhodes.
Second round, white trunks of Ryan Rhodes, who won that Lonsdale bout in record time. Plenty of big fights out there for him if he can get his career back on track again, but for the moment he's in a rebuilding phase. The good thing from his point of view, Rhodes, is that he hasn't been discouraged by all of that. In fact, he was very hurt by those who said his career was in ruins. Haley wildly and bravely trying to come forward, but just hitting areas, very wary about leaving himself open, and maybe with good reason too. Good uppercut from Rhodes.
Well, Haley really just has to keep busy, staying close, let the big wide punches go, really that's his only chance. Just that he can catch the high chin of Rhodes.
Just getting his gloves up a little more than one is used to seeing Ryan Rhodes, not leaving them dangling by his side quite as much, is he?
Well, hopefully that's something that he's learned. You know, I mean, anybody can be beat, anybody can be knocked down, but it's learning from that, which is the mark of a good fighter.
Yeah, that's where he's really got to show some character. Some people will criticize this as a mismatch, and it is a mismatch as well, but maybe Rhodes is entitled to a soft one first of all.
Yep, I think he needs to rebuild his confidence, which will have been shattered by that defeat, and this is the right sort of fight. He's not going to learn a great deal from, but he just needs to get back with a good confidence-building win.
Just trying to pick his punches, Rhodes, but looking a little tentative in doing that. Oh, he's caught by a right hand there. Seemed to land, and that is a knockdown. He's more off balance than anything. He's smiling through his gum shield, but that is something Ryan Rhodes didn't need. That was definitely not in the script.
Well, even the referee was smiling at Rhodes there, but that shows he's still making fundamental mistakes, skipping back, chin in the air. He's caught by a daft punch off balance, and over he goes.
It was a balance thing, wasn't it? But there was a punch.
It was, but it was a balance thing. But had that been a good, solid punch, he'd have went over twice as hard, and that could have been a terrible loss.
Not really snapping out that jab, Ryan Rhodes, not really picking Eddie Haley apart. Haley getting his gloves up very well in survival mode, trying his very best in the second round to make an argument of it, and getting through with a right hand as well. No kind of puncher, Haley, not by his record anyway. But he is brave and he is persistent, and he can claim he had Ryan Rhodes down. So how do you score that round, Glenn? With a knockdown to Haley. Rhodes dominated the rest of it.
I think it's got to be a 10-point must. So somebody's got to win 10. But it was a flash knockdown. Really caught him on the shoulder. I think that's a 10-10 round for me. I don't think I can still give him it.
It was barely a punch if you look at it again.
It was. It just goes over his shoulder. He's off balance, but I think it's got to be a 10-10 round because there was a knockdown. But the only thing that really shows you is the fact that when you watch it, look where the hands are down, the chin was up, and that could have been a terrible thing.
He was very open at that point, wasn't he?
Look where the hands are, look where the chin is. Now he got away with it, and he smiled about it, but he may not have smiled if he'd been a big puncher.
So here's the third round. White trunks of Ryan Rhodes, blue of Eddie Haley from South Shields up in the northeast. He's very, very cut prone normally, Haley. 6 defeats on his record caused by cuts. All of them. He's obviously lost some speed, Rhodes, with all this extra weight on him for this fight, extra half a stone. Good jabs. Leading with the left hand for the moment. He's always been a switch hitter, though. Well, Haley's doing the best he knows how, really, by just keeping the gloves up, trying to survive, and if he spots an opening, throwing out the odd punch. But he's not going to give Ryan Rhodes openings for free.
Well, that's really what he's got to try and do here. He's got to keep himself tucked up, try and get in there, and then look for the opportunity when Rhodes is in close and drops his hands. And you know, he's got to hope for a little bit of luck, really. Well, I think in this match what we had thought was that Haley really was an opponent that was going to be there to make Rhodes look good, and you know, in fairness, Rhodes isn't looking good.
Somebody rather unkindly said when they saw the match, Bill Haley might have been more of a test for Ryan Rhodes. That is cruel. But in with a little right hand, Rhodes on the counter there as Haley tried to close the range on him. Just looks a bit tentative, doesn't he, Rhodes?
Yes, he does. He's not really putting his shots out with authority. He's not just standing over Haley and letting the big punches go. So there's a little bit of doubt maybe in the mind of Rhodes.
Good left hand, though. Switched the angle well. Haley gets her another one.
The all-time great fights are recorded in our new series of big fights starting Tuesday night 10:30 on Sky Sports 3. 1952, Rocky Marciano against Jersey Joe Walcott for the World Heavyweight title this week in the first of our new series of big fights. Live tonight, Ryan Rhodes on his return, taken into round 4 here. Back to Glenn and Ian.
And most people thought it wouldn't go this far, though I think I can say without fear of contradiction that this is the fight of the century so far on Sky Television, isn't it?
It certainly is. I think it'll be overtaken very shortly.
Very shortly. What are your impressions of Rhodes here so far, Glenn?
Well, I think his confidence needs rebuilding. There's obviously a few doubts. He's just a little unsure. Still, you know, the chin's still high for me. That's something that he needed corrected and hasn't been done. The hands still pretty low. Now, I don't think Haley's somebody that's going to, you know, test Rhodes, but you know, he's got to change those things if he's going to, you know, do anything at a high level.
He's very much in second gear here. Maybe he perceives that Haley is not much of a threat and he's just getting a few rounds under his belt again. But gives the air of just being a shade casual here. Just rocked back against the ropes by the left hand, Haley, looking a little unsteady on his feet. It's interesting, like Prince Nassim Hamed, his well, one-time mate really, they're not that close anymore. He's just entered another phase of his boxing career, hasn't he?
Yes, well, it's something that was always going to happen, and really this is the crucial stage in his career. You know, it's very important he does well at this stage if there's going to be, you know, any major runners in his career.
A short little right hand. It's beginning to up the tempo, and Haley is down again for the second time.
5, 6, 7, 8.
He's okay, he's got the gloves up and has convinced the referee he's okay to go on, but Rhodes really should finish it here. That's what's needed. Instead he left himself open to a little sneak right hand, and look at Haley's bravery here.
Yeah, this is excellent from Haley. Very, very brave, coming in and making a fight of it.
He's cut as well, Haley. Cut by the right eye, by the look of it. He really is a courageous fighter. We saw that against Ian Toby a couple of times. And a good right hand puts Haley down for the third time in the contest. Doesn't want to stay down on one knee. His pride won't allow it. He was up at 4. Yeah, I want to go on, he says. I definitely want to go on. But he walks straight into another right hand. Then the left. Rhodes is looking for the punches to finish it all down. He might persuade the referee anyway to step in. But no, the bell saves the very, very courageous Eddie Haley. There can't be too much more of it, I don't think, though, can there, Glenn?
No, there can't be. He is very, very brave, and he's putting up a good showing. He's not going to quit on one knee or nothing. He's here to fight. But he is outclassed and outgunned in there, and you would say it's just a matter of time till Rhodes finds the right punch.
Just a punch really that landed on the top of the head, which can be a bit befuddling, fighters tell me.
I can always show you if you want to find out.
You threatened to a couple of times.
It was a heavy punch on the side of the head, and I'll tell you, Ian, it is a befuddling place to be punched. It's a hurtful place as well.
The referee just did a quick little check with the Eddie Haley corner to say, is he all right? He's satisfied himself that Haley is fit to continue, and this is the 5th round. It's about 4 more than most people thought this would go. Haley in the blue trunks and having the temerity to try to walk in on Ryan Rhodes. Rhodes again just looking open. When he leaves his gloves down, I've never thought he really has the reflexes for that kind of style. What works for Hamed doesn't necessarily work for other fighters. He definitely is using his gloves up surrounding his face more, isn't he? There's definitely been a change with that, but occasionally he lets them drop again, and when he does that, he gets caught with punches. Now, Haley's not a puncher, but against a big concussive hitter, he could be in trouble.
Well, he will be in trouble, if he's in with somebody who's a big punch. Just caught with the right hand there off Haley and an uppercut. So there is problems with the defense of Rhodes, and big punches, will show that out.
Haley is having his successes in there. So much against him here, really. They're fighters from different levels. He was especially signed because they thought it would be a nice, easy comeback for Rhodes, and he is down again for the 4th time in the contest. The referee has to think, really. Haley will carry on wanting to go on. I think they want to throw the towel in the corner, and he's called it off. Good decision, good decision. Nick McVeigh in the corner was signalling to the referee that was about enough of it. Haley really was brave beyond the call of duty. Ryan Rhodes is back with a stoppage win, but he did look a little casual and too easy to hit at times. It wasn't totally convincing, but the main thing for Ryan, I think, tonight is that he's got a win on his record. He's such a nice bloke that you do wish him well, and he's responded to the defeats he's had, really, in a very, very positive way. But can he go on and really become a world-class operator? That is the question that still hangs in the air.
You're right, Ian. He's a really nice kid. You really do want to see him do well. He does have a good measure of talent, and is a big puncher. But there's still problems with his defense that he needs to fix to be a complete fighter. He's not Nazim Hamed. The style doesn't suit him. So he's got to get somewhere in the middle where he can be comfortable at, and where the defense is good, and then he'll do all right.
Weighing nearly 12 stone tonight, as you see Haley go down again. But Brendan Ingle was telling me last night, he said he still could make light middleweight, which is 11 stone.
Well, if he could, I would really say go for it and do that, because his defeats have been a middleweight, a light middleweight. He looked a tremendous force, and if he can do it, that's what my advice would be, do that.
I'm not so sure he can get all the way down to 11 stone effectively, though. But he's back with a win tonight, and that's what he needed, and needed badly.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute 48 seconds of the 5th round, referee Tony Green calls a halt to the action. Eddie Haley in no position to continue. The winner, Ryan Rhodes. And ladies and gentlemen, appreciation, please. A very good sporting loser indeed, please. Eddie Haley.
Despite all the worries and doubts at the 11th hour, our main event tonight is on. But then again, Barry Jones has probably spent most of the last 2 years worrying about his future, so no change there. At last, he's back in a big fight, challenging Acelino Freitas for the WBO super featherweight title, briefly Jones's property a couple of years back. Our main event coming shortly now. Ryan Rhodes would love to get back into that sort of company at world level. It's a start. Here he is with Adam Smith.
Well, Ryan, a fairly comfortable rehabilitation exercise in there. What was it like getting back into the ring where you had that devastating defeat to Jason Matthews?
It was a little bit difficult, but I mean, after 6-7 months, I did feel rusty in there. But Eddie Earl is always in them fights you don't want to be in. He's always in them really, really tough fights. And I knew that from the start. I knew it'd be an hard fight, but I came through as a winner. I knew I did look rusty in there. I could feel it myself.
But I hit a couple of times, didn't you?
I did get hit a couple of times. A lot of critics last time saying that my hands were down and this and that. I tried to keep my hands up quite a lot in there today, but even with your hands up, you still get caught. But yeah, I did my best in there tonight. Felt a little bit rusty after 6-7 months out of ring, but
you came in heavy at 11-13.5. You had your best success down at light middle, down at 11 stone. Where are you going to go?
I'm staying at middleweight. I'm definitely staying at middleweight. I came in heavy tonight because I know he's been in there with the super middleweights with a come down from light heavyweight super middleweight. So he's boxed big super middleweight. So I was giving him no advantages in there because he don't really need any.
A good test for you next time out is who?
Hopefully it's going to be for the Commonwealth title. Bonamy will beat Dodson. Dodson got disqualified again. So hopefully Frank Warren, my promoter, will get me that fight.
Nice to see you back, Ryan. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.